Hello, if you like these meetings or videos or anything posted, please do ensure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the little subscribe thingy majiggy. Also, if you would like to support, I'm also on Patreon, and there's lots of meetings, live meetings held, and lots of other content that I don't necessarily post on this channel. You can go to my website, unknowing.life. There's lots of writing, and there's a book there and some other videos, and you can subscribe to the mailing list if you're interested in attending a meeting. And you can also support the channel through PayPal and other links below. Any and all support is very welcome. It just keeps the channel going, and so otherwise, see ya. So this is the mystery. Just hearing a voice, looking at a screen, sitting on a chair, thoughts. But it can't be accepted. It's not like it can be accepted or is something other, a part that can be digested and held onto or had or understood. Everything else, it seems like everything else seems like it can at least be understood. And that's the normal way things work, is I can understand what he's talking about. I get it. And probably for the most part, there is an understanding of what's being communicated here. The few sentences that are associated with this communication, like there isn't you and life, there's just life, and there's just what's simply appearing to happen. And if it was about those few sentences and understanding them, then the whole thing would be done and dusted, and we'd all talk about football. But it seems like upon hearing something to do with this communication, it can't be let go of. There's something about it that appears to draw, or you can use words like resonance or energetically pulled, or whatever you want to say. There is a sort of energeticness to this that is completely and utterly beyond sentences and words. So that's the sort of dilemma that's presented here. Because the moment the mouth opens and someone starts to volunteer, in this instance, it would suggest like that, well, he understands something and he's communicating something. But mostly what the voice is trying to communicate really is that the mystery appears as a voice talking, appears as hearing. And somehow that is what's meant to be mostly shared, the just total unknowability of absolutely everything. And it is a mystery that this gob here wants to share, because really it's not like there is something in essence to be shared. It's sort of, you could say, like singing without any kind of point to the song. Although, I mean, you could be romantic and say that this is its own love song, that life is its own love song, but let's not get carried away with that. Let's really, it's a total mystery that there's a gathering like this. We can give explanations for it, and it's the same. Turning up to this meeting is the exact same as appearing to sort of organize it or send out an email. And asking a question may appear like, in most instances, that, well, I'm asking a question and he at least is able to give a response. In actual fact, all the knowing is elsewhere, and this empty vessel doesn't know anything. But maybe together we'll have a go at this that can't be really talked about. But it's not complicated that it can't be talked about, nor is it so absolutely beyond compare magical that no words will do it justice. It appears as breathing, as talking, as thinking, and as seeking, and as absolutely everything, everything, everything. So let's have a go together at this. And if anything is there, any questions that are there to be asked, they're there to be asked. If there was a clever question, then we'd be back in a game of words, and this could be bound by language. So there are no clever questions, and you wouldn't know how to ask a question nor not ask a question, but maybe a question will appear to be asked. So let's see what fucking happens. All right. Yeah, and I mean, if by chance you haven't been here to one of these things, don't be shy. Just click unmute and jump on in and ask what's there to be asked, or otherwise just you can put a comment in the chat box, and I'll get to that when I get to that. All right, let's see what happens.
Hey, I'm gonna jump in.
Ooh.
When I saw the email, that there was gonna be an impromptu meeting, there was just a giant yes.
Okay.
It's just enthusiastic yes. Um, but what the thought that's been going on here, I guess, for a while is like nothing has to do with me. Like this is a question also, right? That everything I thought had to do with me, nothing has. Even the story that plays out doesn't have to do with me.
Well, it's worse than that now, in the sense that there isn't a you.
Right.
So that's the bit of a killer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then it's just asking a question. It's just turning up just a bit of excitement, apparently, about a meeting. We'll soon bring that into disappointment. But but do you know what I mean? It's sort of the same. There's sort of an excitement, oh, meeting. It's the same. All right, let's see what happens.
It's
It's
the
the
same
same.
excitement about nothing has to do with me. Like there's an excitement when that's considered.
Yeah. Well, you see, there isn't a you. So
Right.
and so then no one said that, except it appears to be said, and our thought and excitement about that. See, everything else really seems to be about a me that can get something, or fix the me, fix him or her, and then everything will be fine. But there isn't something in there to be fixed. This is already identity-less, and yet somehow it's just like appearing, but just so totally ordinary, just this, like, just fucking chatting. So there's no non-duality or any of that. There's nothing to hold on to.
But there can maybe be a sense that I can hold on to things.
Yeah, well, that would be what's happening then. But you can't do that or not do that. That's kind of just what's happening. I can hold on to things. You can't hold on to your attempt to hold on to things, though. And that's the awkward part. It's sort of like trying to catch catching or breathe into breathing or think into thinking, feel into feeling. It's just that. And it includes everything. So you can't do it wrong or right, see. You're just not doing it. There's only what's appearing to happen. And the killer is that it's every tiny thought. Every, oh, I'm trying to hold on to this. It is as that. It would get very stale very quickly if it could be held on to and known. It then would be a thing. There wasn't anything else, Natalie, was there?
No, but when Mark spoke, it just I there was the same thing, like even the holding on. Uh, it's just
It's this. Yeah.
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 There's
It's a,
something enthusiastic in that.
well, it's so outrageously ordinary, but it can't be known because it appears as the attempt to know it. That's how then it appears to be. Sort of then you could say it's, it's just nothing then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So anything that comes up here to ask a question or whatever is just what's coming up, and it doesn't mean anything, or it doesn't, yeah,
No,
holds no value, or
no. You could say nothing holds value, or then everything holds value, or it's just immediately what's appearing to happen. You might feel like, oh, I'm going to ask a question or whatever. So it is then. But it's just a question arising, vump, and that's it. Like,
but there's still a sense like you're saying that there is no one, and I feel like someone, or you know,
hmm.
then I feel like I need to change that, or I need to,
Yeah, to get to a place of no one, because then that'll be amazing.
yeah.
Then it'll be brilliant. then. And so it's back in the game. I want to get to know, I want to get to be a no one. And it's sort of a fucking dilemma, you see, because you see, when it seems like when a mouth starts talking, they know something, really. That's normally, or they must have something that I don't have, let's just say. And yet this mouth in particular sort of go tries to expose that constantly, that it doesn't know how it's talking, doesn't know how to respond, doesn't know what this is, doesn't know what life is, or non-duality is, or breathing, or boundlessness, or universe, or anything. But that's not a known or a having either. So then the next is sort of imagined, you know, I want this nothing thing that they're talking about, because that must be good. They seem to talk about that a lot. Nothing. But nothing is not a thing. So you could remove the word nothing, maybe, but it's just imaginations of what nothing is, all in the attempt to know this. But really at the core, though, this is just so totally innocent and empty and childlike. And it's just really this pattern that's used to being spoken to, explained stuff to, known, etc., etc., in a world in time and space of getting somewhere. Whereas, you know, it's like a kid banging a stick on the ground. It's just a kid banging a stick on the ground. It's just what's appearing to happen. It's not better or worse, but it's also just like that question there. It's just arising. Vote question. How do you do a question? How do you blink? How do you, well, you know, breathe, think, feel, grow a single hair? How do you know how to react? How do you react? The reaction to this could be floods of tears, could be laughter, could be going, all right. But you can't do a reaction or not do a reaction. So, but reactions appear, responses appear, questions appear. Just see a comment here. It's impossible to know if there is or not something more than this. Well, actually, it's impossible to know anything at all. And mostly, and worst of all, it's impossible to know your attempt, the rising attempt to want to know if there's something more than this that's arising from the thought stream or mouth and whatever. That's the killer, really.
I have a question, Frank.
Hi.
Hi. Um, After doing a lot of like mindfulness, I felt extremely zen.
Well, lovely, yeah.
Yeah, and I've I then came across, these types of messages or suggestions, other
Mm,
possibilities, and I stopped doing those practices of, trying to create mindfulness. Um, and like the freedom was what attracted me to
mm,
this, I guess, at least seemingly. And yet I work in a very like tight, tense, um, seemingly uh, like criminal justice role, and
mm,
I feel like suffocated a lot of the time by, I would say, the energy of this this milieu of people who are, very um, very troubled, very filled with negativity. And
mm,
I'm just wondering, like, is that a story? Because I hear, at least my understanding or belief is that, this message is talking about it's fresh and new all the time and like nothing
mm,
has to stick. And yet I feel like heavy and weighed down by, you know, problems that aren't even mine, so to
mm.
speak.
Well, you see, there is just simply what is. So there isn't even a communication or a message here, really. So that would be what's happening, and the tightness of work and the rigidity of all that and the tension, and that's what's simply appearing to happen. And it's neither a story nor not a story. It's what's being described and felt. So if that's what's being described and felt, then that's what's being described and felt.
Okay. Yeah. So, how can I describe and feel something else?
Yeah. How can you describe and how do you do anything at all? How do you feel tension? I mean, appears as tension, it appears as frustration, it appears at this whole fucking the role playing and the seriousness and everything.
Yeah.
It is everything. And it's not the freedom is that it's not a state, it's full on juicy aliveness. And that juicy aliveness is not necessarily sweet juice. It could be lemon, bitter, horrible juice. Although
Mhm.
lemonade bad, there's worse things than lemon. So, it appears as everything. And
Yeah.
it's not like it's the full on then, acceptance, oh, that it's everything. It can be getting totally fucked off about something. And then that's what's happening. So it's the freedom appears as everything. And also, this freedom appears as constrained. But then there wouldn't be someone that could be free then. It's just that there isn't anyone. And the mystery is just then immediately, inescapably, simply just hearing a voice.
Yeah.
And you can't um, hold on or not hold on to anything at all. Try to hold on to tension and try to let it go. Oh, let it go. Oh, great. No, I want to hold on to my tension. Great. Well, try and hold on to it. It's just there's nothing,
Mhm.
there just isn't anyone
Mm.
in there that can do anything. So it's awfully wonderful.
My gosh. Hmm. Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. In these sorts of let's say gatherings, right? They sort of have a name which is non-duality, right? Let's just say that's the name that everybody has agreed, and that this is a meeting, and an email was apparently sent out, and dot 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 dot. It's a sort of a loose story, and there's 28 odd other stories about the turning up here, which sort of grounds this in some sort of noble reality of my life, how I've got here, and ta ta ta. But at the same time, all those explanations and stories don't really cut it, don't really hold the whole thing together. Not really. And so then let's play the game of there isn't non-duality or life or me or you or up or down or in or out or anything at all. There's just this sound of a voice talking, no idea what's going to be said, no idea what's going to be thought there, or what questions are going to be asked or not, or what responses will be given. Holy fuck. It's great crack all the same.
How are you, Frank?
Oh yeah,
How are you doing?
good, yeah.
I suppose I don't know. Anytime I've sort of spoken to you before, just this message, thisness is just incredible. It's fucking bananas. Excuse my language. It's bananas.
God, yeah, don't be cursing.
I suppose that. What's that?
I said, don't be cursing. I'm only messing. Go on.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you, yeah. Can
Oh
you
yeah.
hear?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It might be. Is that better now?
Yeah, maybe it
No.
was fine for me, but obviously on your side, it's obviously a bit of delay or something.
Sorry. I thought so. Yeah. I put the headphones. Anyway. Yeah, I suppose I don't have a question. Anytime I'm on these, it's always the same thing I say. It's like the thisness. I seem to say thisness. Is just amazing. It can be felt as amazing. The dilemma here is that, like, there's still a lot more I-ness, if you like. That's maybe what I would say. Thisness for a second or two, and then I-ness, and like I've never anything else to say other than the frustration of brief glimpses.
Yeah, well, maybe it's imagined
That's what's
that,
happening.
well, maybe it's imagined that all those that they're more important than the whatever you were describing, the not glimpses. There's the imagination that it's only the glimpses and that they're going to open up into something unbelievable. So it's glimpses and it's not glimpses. It's drinking coffee and tea. It's going for a walk. It's looking at this screen here. It's everything. And you won't ever get closer or further away to it because you're not there. And in fact, there might be an imagination of having asked the question or said the same thing or whatever was said there, but you've never done a thing. And it can't be understood. It's absolutely useless. It's not like then this mouthpiece understands that and he's got it, and so all is fucking well. That's just the dream then. A dream of a state like life. This freshness appears as everything, as feeling like it's stale and shit, and or it appears as glimpses or an itch or a thought or whatever. That's everything then. Just take a while to list everything. It's almost strangling this because there's nothing that can be done with it because the attempt to do something with it is also this. So then it's just whatever unfolds upon, it's whatever unfolds. So all that about the glimpses and the meanness and the I amness and all that is all just a story. It's just a story.
Yeah, it's just a story, but I don't know.
Well, you see, it's
There's a lot
imagined
more.
that it means something.
I don't
It's
know.
like, look at my medals, almost. Look at. It's just, it's a story, like glimpses.
Well, what I'm sort of
Not
getting
glimpses.
at though,
Go on, yeah.
but what seems to be better, it definitely seems. Oh fucking hell! There is a calmness. Look, a glimpse is just gorgeous, like just as simple as that, and there seems to be less neurosis in that moment, and that's all I can say. Like,
But without the dream
I
of
know
that
that
being
world,
important
the whole house could be
or
burning
other,
down.
what's that?
No, I know, like the house could be absolutely burning down and life going to shit. It just seems like, oh fuck, there's just less neurosis. There's a bit of clarity when I isn't there for a second,
Yeah. Sure, that's what's happening then. It's just
Yeah.
this I and this clarity and all that makes it then all into a journey of something. And there isn't a journey to more clarity or anything. It appears as less neurosis, more neurosis, way more neurosis, less whatever. It's just what's happening. You can't do this apparent we call life or not do it, but there is that. And so whatever is unfolding, whatever is thought, felt, then that's what's appearing to happen.
Cool. Thanks. Man.
Thank you.
Hi, Frank.
Hiya.
I love their book, Unknowing.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
totally.
the word alone, unknowing, is just so, I don't know, so fresh and so alive.
Mm.
I don't know. I read your book and I was like almost dizzy, you know, when you say you are not doing anything, you know, like growing your hair or breathing. That's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's even unknowing, you can't hang your hat on unknowing. It's not like unknowing can be known. Then it's sort of right.
And when you say nothing happened,
Yeah.
that's that for the seeker is just so ungraspable. Because there was a seeker, right? There was a Frank seeker, and now there isn't.
Well, I mean, if it was a court of law, I think you'd be able to show some videos, maybe. However, there was just apparently seeking, apparently asking questions, and then there's apparently responding. So that's the sort of killer in the sense that that normally in the game of progression, then there's oh look seeking and oh look found. But no, it was just a seeking and then apparently not seeking. But it's the same. It's just so yeah, it's the same. And then nothing happens is in a sense the nothing happens as a sentence because everything works as being understood. Then this nothing happening must be a something at least that happens. It's just something that's so fantastic, but that must be something. No, it's really absolutely and utterly nothing. But nothing isn't a thing, and it's even if it's like the tiniest little sort of happening, then it's something to be remembered, held on to as uh, as a thing. So nothing isn't a thing. So it's almost like if you were to be descriptive, you could say it's a 360-degree. It's like a loop is completed and the loop continues. It's like just, but that's just that's making it something really when there's no need. Like nothing happens. And it's the boundless gift and probably the most disappointing possible fucking thing ever. Because it's nothing at all. So then everything remains, it's not like then it can, it's just, It's nothing like. So it's a fucking killer then even talking about it, apparently having a website, apparently writing a book. It gives the impression of something. Now it's quite minimal that comes out of this gob here. There isn't any kind of floweriness at all, really. But yeah, it's not it's impossible the nothing because it's nothing. And that doesn't make it special. It's just so totally ordinary. It's I just read something out here. Only nothing can be everything because the absence of conditions. Well, nothing isn't a thing, nor is everything lots of things. So you could get rid of the words nothing and everything and conditions. And then what's left is what's immediately inescapably appearing to happen, that can't be held on to. Then just simply hearing a voice, thoughts, every single thought, every tiny little, and sort of it's like it is a miracle that apparently, let's say, this is hearing. This is it's called hearing when this voice is being heard, hearing, and sort of like you can't do hearing or not do it. It's hearing. Siri's fucking listening to me there, saying go ahead. Siri said, I'm here. There's another comment here. A friend recently mentioned this already never happened. Yeah, you could say that this is, in a sense, the moment there's the start of a sentence, it suggests a beginning. And then when the sentence ends, it suggests an end. And that all of this then, no matter what, whether it's a word or anything at all, has a start and an end. And in this sort of time-bound scenario. But you could say that the whole thing is like falling asunder constantly and never to be held on to, including the stories arising about it, the thoughts, the sensations. And that's just a sort of a description of this ordinariness. It's just in the story of time, then there's a beginning and an end. And yeah, like even the sentence nothing happens isn't a sentence to, live a life by or hold on to or know this by saying this is nothing happening or whatever. It's no sentence or word or anything captures this at all, this unfathomable whatever. This is blah, 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 blah. in a sense that they already never happened is this freshness, because it is always anew, always sort of original. In even copying is sort of appearing as that. It's life is its own originality. Every thought, every looping, every breath, every feeling, every response, it's sort of electrically alive as whatever is, but it's not a state of imagined bliss. It's so fucking totally ordinary, and fills the senses as immediately just this. Woohoo! Or oh fuck. Let's see, just another comment there. So impossible not to be this. Well, it's just there's just this then. Neither impossible nor possible. But it is, you could say, it's inescapably this, whatever is, including rejecting this or attempting to accept this or whatever.
So seeking appears to happen, but there's nobody seeking, right? There's no one seeking.
No one seeking, yeah. What a fucking killer, eh? What a fucking killer. So then no one finds, obviously then.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, Frank.
Hiya.
I arrived late. I just got back from work and then opened my emails and saw that oh, Frank's having a chat. So I thought I'd tune in, but I arrived late. So just remind me, what the fuck are we even talking about here? Because I can't remember. I've been here before, but I have
Right.
no idea. So
Yeah, I don't
it's probably
either.
a good thing.
Yeah, well, there we go. That's the meeting introduction there. Perfect. That's perfect. That'll do as the meeting introduction now.
Right.
That's much better than my meandering earlier.
All right. Okay. Now I feel very grounded.
Mm. It's not
Nothing.
about anything at all, like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just what's happening, apparently. Apparently meeting. That's what they call it anyway. That's what the kids call it.
Apparently. Yeah. Mhm.
Is what is being said, not that there's no one, that there isn't anyone inside the body, and there is no one.
No one in the entire universe. If
And
there
no
was the
universe.
universe, if there was the universe, then no universe. So nobody asked that, or nobody said that, and nobody's responding. But nobody isn't somebody then. Oh, there's, he's a nobody. He's a nobody. It's not, it's just talking then, free to be exactly how it appears to be being. And it's utterly agendaless. So then I don't understand then, for example, that there is no one, or it's not like I've got the knowledge that there is no one. Did it have to have been someone in the first place? So if nobody's asking that question and nobody's responding, what's there to be said? Well, whatever appears to be said, though. It's whatever appears to unfold or be thought or whatever.
Lately, sometimes it's as if this um, situation, like this situation being what you're sharing, kind of creeps in, rather than something that I would seek like to listen to or to try to think about, but it's just like comes up behind me, and all of a sudden there's no context for anything, and it's very scary. You know, like there's just sort of a blank. It's not as if it's a vision of blankness, but it's like a void. And I feel alone, you know, although that's not like, yeah, exactly the right way to put it, but um and I think like the issue is that there's nobody who's going to be redeemed
And saved
after all.
and get the
Yeah.
prize.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, uh-oh.
And in a way, this is a total aloneness. But there isn't someone in there who can be alone or not be alone. There's just this aloneness, you could say, and this is just it sort of exposes the energeticness of everything, because in this instance, really, when nothing at all is on offer, and yet it's the interest or the resonance or the whatever the vibe towards this just appears to happen, and it sort of exposes the uncontrollableness of everything, really. Because why, with all reason and logic, would a person go after something like this or seek apparently this, or because it's absolutely nothing's on offer at all. I mean, absolutely nothing. So I think it's sort of amusing in the sense that it can't be let go of. And then it's sort of like, maybe it can be from time to time wanting to unhear this, wanting to unhear what's being said and forget about it. But that can't be done either. Like, it's just that you can't do anything or not do anything. There's just immediately whatever is. So it's every thought, every sensation, every whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, as that has been happening this week, like there was no dread of that happening again, or, you know, it's just okay, you know, it's as if it just continues a little longer. And then I realized, well, there's no warm, fuzzy feeling of this at all. It's not like, oh, I've discovered at the bottom of everything there's love. But it's like, right?
Yeah.
But there's at least, so what? Like, it's not as though there's anything bad either. So, but yeah, that's just what's happening. And
Yeah, really, it's like that. It's just what's happening.
and like there might have been a quick moment of like, gotta stop listening to those messages. But then here I am, like,
Well, apparently, like that's, you see, here it's like, oh, I'm not going to listen to this anymore. All right, well, good luck with that. Best of luck with that. Now, let me know how you get on with that. I'm going to drop all this non-duality, Lar, and I'm going to take up hot yoga again. At least I was relaxed doing that for 5 fucking minutes. Well, of course you are. You were tortured for an hour in extreme heat. Of course, ordinary sitting on a chair would be lovely without the torture.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, ridiculous. Thanks.
Thank you. So you can't get closer or further away to immediately, inescapably, just this. Woohoo! Oh, fucking shit. So anyway, thank you. I'm putting a little few links here for support in the chat box. And otherwise, thank you all very much for joining this impromptu Friday little meeting. All right. Have a lovely
Thanks, Frank.
evening. Take
Thank
it
you,
easy.
Frank.
See you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.